Let's put this on the screen. Sorry about that. Hi guys, welcome to the Spirit Lounge. I hope you guys are doing well. Sorry for the camera's not directly facing me; it's facing into this onto the ceiling. Yeah, well, I'm going to be trying to change this when I start my new series of sessions. But today we're going into the last section of the Dead Sea Scrolls. It is going to be looking at, to put onto the screen now for you all. It is going on to the biblically based apocryphal works. It's very short, this one. It's only going to be about 8 slides or so. And going to some extracts some of you recognize from biblical scripts. So let's go straight into this, and we will have a little short chat at the end to close off the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, as you know, the 1947 young Arab shepherd climbed into a cave near Qumran, which is called the Qumran Caves Scrolls, or the Dead Sea Scrolls. They were actually writings from the Essenes, who were a Judaic sect who said that they were following the real interpretations of the laws of Moses, and therefore saw themselves as more strict, as more true than the Jewish communities outside the walls of the community at Qumran. They were found and liberated in 1991. Actually, funnily enough, 1947, around that time, was when the Gnostic texts were found. So it's kind of, I don't think this is coincidental that these things were found at the same time. There could be a conspiratorial head there you could put on and say, why were they all found at the same time? It is fairly strange that these things suddenly disappeared. Yeah, and the book that I was looking at, this Giza Vermesh, it's actually a very good author. I don't know if it's male or female, but a very good author here. Good footnotes, good narrative, good interpretation of much of the passages that have been translated from the Aramaic texts that were found. A lot of them are broken up, but this is a very good book. If you wish to read it in more detail, please take a look at these reviews for this one. I don't promote anything. I don't get money for anything. I don't even have monetization on this channel. This is just, I just found, this is what I've chosen. I found it to be pretty decent. Okay, so this one is a fairly long section called Biblical-Based Apocryphal Works, and this is the Book of Giants. Now, some of you will recognize this. I certainly do, because I've read extracts of this from a biblical text as well. So let's just go into this. The Book of Giants is missing from the Ethiopian version of Enoch, but it circulated among the Manichaeans. I've not read the Book of Enoch, and it might be an interesting read, so I may actually read it in the future, but let's see. Okay, about the death of our soul, and all his colleagues entered, and Ohiah explained them what Gilgamesh has told him, and the Hobabis roared, and judgment was pronounced on him. And the guilty cursed the princes, but the giants rejoiced over him, and he was cursed again and accepted it. Then 2 of them dreamed dreams, and the sleep of their eyes fled from them. And they rose and opened their eyes, and they went to Shemihaza, their father. Then he told the story in the congregation of their colleagues, the Nephilim. I saw a wonder in my dream that night. Behold, a big garden was planted with all kinds of trees. There were their gardeners, and they were watering every tree in that garden. Many roots grew out of their stock, and out of one tree grew 3 shoots. I was looking until tongues of fire came down from heaven. I was looking until it was covered with all the water, and the fire devoured all the trees of the whole orchard. But it did not devour the tree and its shoots on the land when it was destroyed. Here is the end of the dream. And the giants were unable to explain the dream. And he said, you will give this dream to Enoch, the interpreter scribe, and that he might interpret to us the dream. Then Ohiah, his brother, answered and said before the giants, I too saw a wonder in my dream this night. Behold, the ruler of heaven descended to earth, and thrones were set, and a great holy one sat. Hundreds and hundreds were ministering to him. Thousands and thousands stood before him. And behold, books were opened, and judgment was pronounced, and the judgment was written, and a signature was signed. And the Great One reigns over all the living and the flesh, and over all those who rule. Here is the end of the dream. And behold, all the giants were terrified and called Mahawi, and he came to the congregation of the Nephilim. And the giants sent him to say his voice and say to him that he should explain to you the interpretation of the dreams, and that all should rest with those who hunger strongly after it. I don't know what you think of the giants. That giants roamed the earth in very ancient times. And the Nephilim and the Elohim were actual beings that transcended from the heavens, i.e. non-terrestrial beings onto this earth. Had influence in the creation of man and the body. The DNA changes of humanity into what we call human today. The missing link, in other words. There's much writings around this, much speculation, interpretation around this. But not all of it. I've not read the book. This is why the Book of Enoch might be interesting, because it does talk about giants. It talks about those who come from the stars. And if you read the Apocrypha, particularly, it constantly talks about Michael coming up, back and forth from the clouds in his chariot to convince, or I think is maybe Abraham, to go to the heavens and join the God, because it's his time, and he chose, no, I'm not going today. I think it's Abraham. Forgive me if it's not. But it's a back and forth. I mean, what being comes back and forth on the chariot into the heavens? What's the heavens? Heavens is anything above the clouds in the mind of those times. And you don't negotiate to go to your God, do you know? So this is it's not metaphorical. It's a real experience. It's a real interpretation of what occurred. So we have to look at these things real. What is it that we're reading? What is it, the trueness of what we're reading in all Scripture? Many people might not like that, by the way. Okay, the ages of the creation. This is the only section yielding coherent sense with the myth of the fallen angels and the daughters of men, which is based on Genesis and the fully developed in Enoch. Again, it's called a myth, but is it really a myth? Is there some truth in it somewhere? Nothing's truly made up, I don't believe. There's always some truth in something. We have to understand what that truth is. Not be wedded to what we think it is. Interpretation concerning the ages made by God and all the ages of the accomplishment of all the events past and future. Before ever he created them, he determined the works of age by age, and it was engraved on heavenly tablets. The ages of their domination. This is the order of creation of man from Noah to Abraham, until he begot Isaac, 10 weeks of years. And the interpretation concerns Azazel and the angels who came to the daughters of men, and they bore to them giants. And this is the Nephilim, and concerning Azazel, iniquity, and to cause them all to inherit wickedness, judgments, and the judgments of the congregation. So this is talking about the fallen angels, the aliens of the Elohim, who came down and bred with the daughters of men and created giants. And then also created another bloodline. This bloodline was then going through iniquity and those who are rulers of the world today. This is in short what is occurring, and those are the rulers of the world from the beings that came from above, beings that came from the heavens. Heavens are being above the clouds through chariots being non-terrestrial vehicles. This is what could be the interpretation, or could be a myth. But is it all just hysterical interpretations of something, or a dream? We don't know, but the reality is there may be some truth in some of this, or we can go for the traditional Darwinian movement of the evolution of man if we want. That could also be the trueness and fact. But you know, it's interesting when you read these things and you really open the mind that I don't come to dismiss these things as just pure fantasy in reality, because the trueness of the governance of this world is not in the seen, as we already know. Those who are starting to become illuminated watching this channel or others, you will know that there is illumination beyond what is the seen realm. Those who kings and queens who govern this world do not truly govern this world. And we all know that they deal in perversity and dark magic, deal in the darkness of the universal forces and the left, the satanic and Luciferian things of this world. Some of them believe that they are rulers of this world. And there are hidden powers behind them. There's more in the hidden than there is in the seen. You must all understand this. And so for these bloodlines, these influences from above, not purely dismissed, I would say. The book of Noah. Blessed be every man who reaches his sons the doctrine of wisdom. That is true. If you can reach someone with true wisdom and set them on their own path, and they can find their own path of contentment and peace and gnosis, and understand there is a Father, and admit that in their word, this is a blessed act. But not to preach. We don't go to preach and proselytize our word to everyone. It's just those who seek will find someone to help them, guide them to their path. For he will not die in the days of wickedness. Woe to you, O fool, for your mouth will deceive you by incurring the death penalty. Well, death for me is not physical death. Death is the wandering in the realms of loss, in the middling, if you like. That is true death. It's the loss of grace within yourself, loss of recognition of grace. It's the moving towards your own physical self as being the one to worship. Who will write these words of mine in a book that will not decay, and keep his word of mine in a scroll which will not fade away? Well, what is that book or scroll that will not fade away? Well, it is in your heart and in your soul. The word is within you always. It's never decayed. It's just lost. It's just not heard. Be the eyes of grace. Be the eyes of the Father, the word, the mouth of the Father, the ears of the Father, and the being of the Father. Then you are that word. It can never decay because it is not decayable. It's not written on any word or scroll. It is always within. What is written on a word of scroll is something that someone has channeled from within and written down. It's not, the written word is not source. The source is within self. Words of the Archangel Michael. Michael addresses the angels in general and Archangel Gabriel in line 4 about a vision. He refers to the sons of Noah, Shem and Ham, and to the construction of a city filled with wickedness. It is possible that the author alludes to the building of the Tower of Babel. Then I would say so, yes. This is the construction of the city filled with wickedness. Could be that. The Tower of Babel, yes. Why was that written? The Tower of Babel was one that was created because they were trying to reach the heavens where they knew the gods were above the clouds. They tried to create this tower so high that they would be with the gods at the very top. I saw the angel Gabriel, like a vision. Then I showed him the vision. And he said to me, in the books of my master and the Lord of the world, it is written, behold, between the sons of Ham and the sons of Shem, and behold, my master, the Lord of the world, and behold, a city was built to the name of my master. Everything that is evil will be done before my master, and the Lord of the world will remember his creation. The Lord of the world will be merciful to him and to him. He will say to him, behold this, for me silver and gold. And he will say, and the righteous man. It's a bit fragmented, but I took what I could from there. Again, Michael and Gabriel came up and down in chariots. Testament of Levi. I then raised my eyes and faced towards heaven and opened my mouth and spoke. I stretched out the fingers of my hands and my hands for truth towards the holy ones, and I prayed and said, Lord, thou knowest every heart, and thou alone knowest all the thoughts of the heart. And now my sons are with me. Give me all the paths of truth and distance from me. O Lord, the evil spirit, the evil inclination and fornication and repulsed pride from me. And give me counsel and wisdom and knowledge and might, so that to do that which pleases thee, and find favour before thee, and give thanks for thy dealings with me. O Lord, in order to do that which is splendid and good before thee. And let no adversary have dominion over me, to lead me astray from thy way, and be merciful to me. O Lord, draw me near to that I may be thy servant, and minister well to thee. The chief of all your deeds shall be truth, and it shall be you forever. Righteousness and truth you will bring in a blessed harvest. He who sows good and will bring in good. He who sows evil has sowing will turn against him. Doctrine and wisdom will be with you for everlasting honour. He who studies wisdom will be honoured, but he who despises wisdom will be turned into scorn and disdain. Do not be remiss in the study of wisdom. Wisdom is great wealth of honour for those who know it, and a good treasure for those who buy it. It's talking about gnosis, the battle within of good and evil, or evil action, or the distraction to the material inclinations, to that which is the doctrine and the gnosis of the divine book within. This is what this is talking about. To keep you true in prayer and meditation. Well, you don't need to much really try, to be honest. There's no helplessness in the act when you go towards grace. The power is already in the force of the spine, the force within the divine force running through the spine. You will always keep your way. There is no battle there. The battle is only in your own mind if you think you are looking for a force externally to come to you from something abstract above you. It's already within you. When you become transformative in your nature, in your passage, there is no battle here from the material and the spiritual. And wisdom is the honor, is what you will hold on to. And there is no other treasure that you will buy into. Okay, narrative and poetic composition, formerly a Joseph Apocryphon. A heart teaching understanding, a mouth proclaiming judgment. For my words are sweeter than honey and surpass wine. My tongue is truth, and all the words of my mouth are righteous. This is the secret of smooth things. This is the voice of the teacher of righteousness. Their testimonial shall not destroy, their portions shall not perish. For all of them the Lord has opened my mouth, and the words of my tongue ate from him, and they speak to me, proclaim his mercies. He will not give his precepts to another nation, nor will he crown every stranger. The Testament of Kohath. I am the God of gods for all eternity, and he will shine light on you and will let you know his great name. And you will know him, that he is the God of eternity, and the Lord of all deeds, and the ruler of all dealing with them, according to his good pleasure. And he will make for you rejoicing, and for your sons joy, for all the generations of truth forever. Verses 3. I will have taught you in truth, and now until the age. Every word of truth will come upon you. Eternal generations will be no more. From your correction you will establish yourself to pronounce judgment over, and to see the oceans into all the sinners of the ages. Again, this is talking about gnosis. This is talking about don't pronounce judgment. There is no such thing. You don't judge anyone but yourself. Again, it's a mind of the time. This is all about gnosis. This is all about unveiling the true nature of the all of the Father, of the source of the absolute, from within yourself, understanding the nature of your own self, and the passage to smooth things. And finally, the Moses Apocryphon. It lays down instructions regarding the treatment of a person who claims to be a prophet. Well, what is that? Well, every rabbi, priest, and pope, anyone on a pulpit, every guru claims to be a prophet, in my eyes. You will do all that your God has commanded you from the mouth of the prophet. You will keep all these precepts, and you will return to the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul. And your God will desist from the wrath of his great anger to save you from your misery. And the prophet who will arise and speak defection in your midst, turning you away from God, shall be put to death. But if the tribe from which he originates stands up for him and says, let him not be put to death, for he is righteous, he is a trustworthy prophet. You and your elders and your judges will come with that tribe to the place which your God will choose within one of your tribes to appear before the anointed priest, of whose head the oil of anointing has been poured. And the final passage, the Joshua Apocryphon. They were afraid. They were praising the name of the Most High, for they saw that God was fighting for his people against the enemies, and they were not afraid of them, and saved them. And whatever he said about them happened to them, and no word fell to the ground, and he multiplied their seed greatly. And that's the end of the Dead Sea Scrolls. I want to say thank you for joining me on this video, this very, very short one. We will close off shortly, but I'll just put my camera back on the screen. So the Dead Sea Scrolls, what does it give us? Well, it gives us another interpretation of the Essenes, of the laws of Moses. The Apocrypha was very similar. I didn't find much value in the Abrahamic doctrines. I haven't read the Bible yet, but the only one I would read is if it has the Gospels of Christ. The Christ Gospels, which I think are mostly in the New Testament from what my understanding, but again, I have not read or researched any particular one to gravitate towards. But these age-old ones, these Abrahamic faiths, I really will not be going into anymore. If I do, it'll be just Gospels of Christ, because those have true interpretation for me personally. For Christ is real within me, Krishna is within me, but the Father is the only truth and the only true source of nature of God within me. The Father, absolutely all, is within me and the only truth. There's nothing in between he and I. There are no pretenders, there are no deities, there are no idols, there are no demigods. There are no words, there's no name. There are no angels, there are nothing. There is just myself and the true nature of the Father and those of the Spirit that they send around me. And that's what I would suggest everyone looks at. When you look at Scripture, take what is resonance. Remember the mind of the time. Do not look at these things in the literal sense, because you will lose your way. They will be misguided. There is truth to be found in everything. There is a spiritual message in everything, even in the hardest passages. But the true book, as I've said before, will be unveiled. This book of colour, and the pages turn when you ask the Father to turn them for you and allow the book to be revealed to you. Be the Father's eyes, the being, the mouth, the ear, the voice, and be transformative in its nature. There is no book on this earth which will give you the truth. There are just many, many scriptures that will help you find and guide you to your ultimate understanding and gnosis of true reality, the true nature of our Father and true nature of ourselves and our place. This body, this temporal vehicle that we are in, of many you will have. Move along every spoke of the wheel if you need to, but they all lead to the same center, but never stay on one rock, on a rock as you move across the river. There is a large one at the other end, and that is specifically just for you. And is the one that you will end your journey on. Well, how long that takes and when that will occur, that's really up to you. But this channel is geared towards independent thought, objective thinking, true openness of heart and mind. For me, the true Trinity is the soul, the heart, and the mind in the Trinity moving as merging as one through the vehicle of the body as it traverses the material plane, moving in towards the breath of God, which is the true light of Spirit. Our soul needs to reflect the Spirit, our heart needs to reflect the Spirit, our mind needs to join as one and open ourselves to gnosis. This is the true journey, this is the true nature of the Trinity and the cross. For me, to move towards it yourselves. It's a hard journey because it will humble you. It will make you not low, but it will humble you, but with the strength of mind and spine. Understand the effigies if you have them, in whatever faith you follow. They're just teachings at the end of the day. Buddha's not to be worshipped, it's the word to be worshipped. Christ is not to be worshipped, it's his word which is to be understood and worshipped. Krishna is not to be worshipped, it's his word which is to be understood and worshipped. Worshipped in what way? Understood and gnosis from within to without, to be absorbed and to become of. And every action, word, and intent, every transformative vehicle, you are to become grace. As much as you need to do in this body, because you just need to transcend away from the physicality of the material realm, this dimensional realm. This realm is of physicalities, of desire, it's of emotions, of touch, feeling, sight, smell, sound. This is what it is. It can entrap you. It can make you lose yourself in what is the material ego of desire, of virtuous, of self-righteousness, of reflection worship, of our image worship, of our shadow worship. This is what many have lost themselves into ideologies. They are awash. The world is awash with ideologies. You can never lose count. You'll never run out of an ideology. They're like ships coming into a harbour. Each ideology moving through the harbour, and a rat will move from one to another. as it tries to survive its way through the world, moving through one ideological belief system to another. They have no foundation. That's why they keep people move on to one, to another, to another, to another. The weakness of the human mind and the soul and the heart is so shallow today that it has lost its way utterly and completely. Today we're moving into a time of enlightenment, of gnosis, revelation, the Aquarius, the Yugas, moving from Kali, moving on to an age of enlightenment, moving into the Bronze and Silver and Gold ages, to the Golden Age. What's the Golden Age? Golden Age comes around every 24,000 years or more. Doesn't mean that you're evolving. You're evolving only if you make the choice to evolve. Just because something moves in, this notion that the Earth is moving to the fifth dimension, we're all going with it. No, you're not. And who's to say the Earth's moving to any dimension, any frequency? Who's saying all these things? What notions do they provide? The Earth is a living body of its own. It doesn't need us to evolve. It evolves all by itself. It is already ascended. It provides everything it needs. It's not degraded in its nature. It just is. It's that which sits upon it which is degraded. That is us. We have to find our own way. It's a harsh message because true spirituality is a difficult path and many do not have the strength to follow it. This is the reality. And there is no such thing as chosen. You have to choose yourself. You have to become one who chooses grace, and therefore you choose to be chosen. The path awaits everyone. And the smooth things, as it says here, is really the path of your own. The path is actually very smooth. As I said many times in lots of videos of the past, when I fell away from my path, the smooth channel that was before me was lost. And it was for 10 years that path became rough and rocky and jagged, had holes and schisms in it. It had crevasses that I fell into, and I lost myself many, many, many times. Made decisions of society pressures, of this world, material world, and not me. I even didn't listen to the voice that was calling out. I heard it tangibly. Don't do this, don't do that. I didn't listen. And I fell into that. Lost the smooth things. But the path you're seeking is the smooth channel. Seeker of smooth things, seeker of gnosis and law, seeker of all that is truth, which is the book. The seeker of smooth things is the path. There is one path, and that's always going to move to the light of the Father. Always. And then you create your life experiences along that path. What do you want to experience? What would you like to become? Where would you like to go? What abundance what are you trying to create for yourself in the channel of grace with every action, word, thought, and intention you perform along the life experience, moving you towards grace itself? Ask yourself, is your action, word, and thought moving you towards that channel? Are you doing something, saying something, intending something that is moving you towards it, or is it moving you towards the left or towards the middling, where the overwhelming majority of humanity is walking around in circles, in fields of self-grandizement, in fields of their own exaltation, on pedestals of intellectualism and arrogance, ignorance that they don't even feel they have, but they feel they're intellectual in their own ignorance, they're knowing in their own ignorance. It's shocking. It's shocking because it's everywhere. I was told the other day by a friend that not everyone here is here to evolve, they're here just to exist. Some of them are here to help us evolve. Those who are here to evolve, to help them to evolve, to transcend in their being. And that is the case. Don't expect everyone in the world to be on the path. In fact, tiniest percentage of humanity will be on the path, truly. Being devout in religion is not always the way, but it's the passage on that path. The way, as I said, is isolated to yourself. It will be that single large stone on the other side is your own. However many ones you pop along on the way is really up to you. But I see anything spiritual movement as being on a path. What I see is as long as you move along it, atheism is the greatest loss. Because what do you have if you don't have that? And I speak truly to this because I know someone, a very close love. I love this, my friend. He's an atheist. And what does he choose? He just follows ideologies because there's nothing else for you. What does an atheist follow? Well, it can only have the material world and the mind of egotism and ideological thinking and paradigms of loss have no foundation, anything but sand. You can only follow those. If you have nothing of grace, you can only follow that which the material realm, the human system offers you to give you any purpose in life. That'll be an ideology of destroying communism or fascism or Marxism or anti-capitalism or neoliberalism or some other ism that you will follow, some other hatred for something else. But then you will also persecute those who follow faith, because for you that is the opposite of what you've become, and therefore you'll mock and deride those who follow faith or follow something greater than themselves, who follow and recognize that there is a Father, which is the first recognition you must have. Is forget this elevation, I am God, I am grace, I am the I am divine. No, for me, it's recognizing that there is a Father, an absolute, a grace within that we are moving towards, and recognize that in your prayer. The Father exists. There is a one and all of the everything. There's the source of the absolute that we're seeking, and that is our soul seeking to go into its light, its vibration, its frequency, and that is your passage. There's a lot to be said on this, and we're going to delve into more of this as I go into my own channel of Gnosis, and I share that with you, and create videos and graphics and things I will share with you to demonstrate and illustrate what I'm saying. Move to the passage yourselves. Read whatever resonates with you. Follow whoever you want, but don't stay there. Just dip in and out and be intrigued if it draws you to them, but don't stay there. Your passage always has to be constant. Keep walking on the path towards your destination. And make no mistake that incarnation, reincarnation, multiple lives, bodies and vessels, you will have many. And the plain simple principle is this. We're all trying to move towards the grace. Tell me, do you think you're going to reach that nirvanic transcendental state in this life? No, you're not. Neither am I. So if that's the case and there's only one life, then how are you going to do this? Can't answer that question unless there's another life. Unless there's greater experience in this infiniteness of non-existence. Existence in non-existence, which is what we really are. We're experiencing forms, we're experiencing experiences of existence in a realm of non-existence. Because in reality, there is no existence to be found. We're just existing and experiencing in the realm of non-existence of the Father of grace itself. Our form is of purity of energy. We are expressions of grace. We cannot be defined because there is no definition for ourselves. There is no definition, there is no boundary to what we are. We're only bound in this body because we're limited in it and we become human and express that. So this channel will be guided towards moving you towards a greater understanding. I am going to be writing a new book, and I'm going to be sharing the progression of that book with you in my videos as we move forward. And I may actually be looking into non-scripturals, such as the Secret of All Ages with Manly P. Hall. Maybe the Secret Doctrine by Blavatsky, maybe. Because these are doctrines of the lost. These are those doctrines that are practiced by those who move to the left. They are of dark practices, witchcraft, really. This is what they choose to dominate the physical realm. It's an intriguing thing. A huge text, which I may start reading on the side of doing the videos that I'm going to be doing. And I may share some of that along the way with you as I see it appropriate. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on this. So I'm going to say goodbye to you all and say thank you for listening. And I hope you appreciated and enjoyed the Dead Sea Scrolls and all the others series that I've done. Please like and subscribe and share to others. It helps this channel to grow. I don't really care how much it grows, but I do want it to grow to those who are willing to look at it and who find it benefits. So please help the channel to grow. Like and subscribe on YouTube and share it with those on Facebook, but I really just concentrate on YouTube. I do put this on Rumble and BitChute as well, but it's becoming tiresome. I'm not even sure I'm going to keep doing that. I may just stick to YouTube for now, because I have to copy these manually upload those onto these other platforms. It becomes very tiresome. But I will do that for the time being, and stop doing that if it becomes something that doesn't serve a purpose. So please like and subscribe, share to those who find useful, and I want to say thank you again. God bless to you all. Take care. Good luck on your passage, and I hope I can help you. And just be sure that you're never on your own. There is the smooth, those who seek the smooth passage is your own path. God bless you till next time. Take care of yourself, and I'll say thanks again. All the best.